Good morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Mono Was in My Hero Academia. So this is what it is. He's Mono. If you flip those two things, is Nomo or Nomu. No. If some of you might not know who, it's Nomou. I think it's a Nomu. Let me find the stupid picture. It's these guys. Yeah. Spelled their names backwards. And, yeah. So, but he was a special breed. See, he's not like what my other ones are. Like, he's designed to kill everything. But he has a quirk that soon becomes his power. Or called attract girls. So basically he can whatever he sees, he automatically hangs out. Basically, like if it's like a Venus flytrap or like something that lures prey in and devours them, kind. That's why. And that red thing that's on his hand, that's actually his mouth that allows him to basically absorb quirks out of certain creatures, like copies them and takes away their powers, or takes the copied ones away. He's a very strong person. And more quirks that he does it to, they don't feel nothing. So yeah, he gets like stronger and bigger. So yeah. So now we move on to the story. So let's start with the doctor. So the doctor decides, as he looks at quirks, there's not very many quirks out. That piques the interest. Because he realizes that they know that they have quirks, so they stop going to him and going to seeing the other. So they're like breathing in, or he breathes in, breathes out. So he decides to use the quirks that he has left to create a Nomu that is like very high in Nomu. That would be in secret thing. to end up copying everyone's quirks and gives them to him. And All for One knows about that. So they ended up giving him a so they created sorry. They ended up creating a Nomu. And of course, yeah. So the Toga, let's say Toga was recruited earlier. As she wanted to take him, or actually the doctor, I'm skipping, or no, wait, hold on. So, yeah, the Zuko, or not Zuko, the doctor tells him to go get the quirks, Mono. That's your new name. As he agrees. As he walks around, or he looks more human than the actual Nomu. So, yeah. So he ends up using his power. He found this little girl. Toga. Yeah. That's only 4 years old. As the something tells him that her transformation quirk is a quirk. So as he secretly uses his power to copy the quirk, because he did it in such a secretive motion that as the copied one, it's like what they still have the original quirk, but yeah. So, yeah, basically, a 4-year-old Toga asks him about the quirks, or what his quirk does. As he says, well, my quirk, allows me to take other quirks. Basically, copy it and put the copied one in me. So that as he actually has the quirks things stored into his body. So, yeah. And, yeah. As she says, yours just is, or it's like that symbol of evil, right? The All for One. Yes, but mine, I copy a quirk, then I steal the copied one, so that so that it's like, for you, I copy your quirk. So now I have the transformation quirk. And plus it makes me grow stronger too. As, yeah. He done this for, let's say, 2 years. He gathered up enough quirks. And when he was coming back, he stopped himself. Oh. Turns around and sees the most beautiful girl in the entire world. Yeah, her. Some of you are probably like flying to the keyboard and type out something that's like, she's a mutant and all that stuff. I understand. But, yeah, he doesn't see her as a monster or mutant. He sees her as a human that's mistreated. Because as the people were thrown like bottle cans and tomatoes at her head or at her, but he comes in, stops him as he, you know that how, you know this one, like how, imagine all those horns were like bottle cans and or bottles and cans and tomatoes and all that stuff. Imagine them flying right at him, but he caught it. So, oops, sorry, misclicked. So, yeah. Let me look up. So yeah, he stops as he tells them that you guys need to pick on someone, and that's okay. As he warps right up to them, as he says, you guys do have quirks, but I'll take them away. As he takes the quirks, like copies the quirks, it was pretty painful process, but yeah. So then he, of course, when he turns around, he walks up to her as she's like afraid of him. But then when he sticks his hand out, for her to take it, yeah. As he tells her that he really likes her. So, yeah. So she ends up thanking him. Yeah. She ends up thanking him and have a nice day. As she has, how will I put this? She has the love in her eyes. As he walks to the doctor's villain's base thing, he has way more quirks than the average person does. As the doctor says, my favorite Newman. How many did you get? Well, for 2 years, I got a lot of quirks. Plus, I picked up some quirks along the way. Well, good. Now, we all have to just... Of course, as he actually could give them, like he barfs them all up. As they, yeah. As the pile of quirks, he wasn't joking when he says he got a lot of quirks. Yeah. So now he has unlimited one. As he says, you said you picked up some new quirks when you were coming to here. As he says, yeah, there was some jerks and battle was bullying some girl. Oh? Oh? Because she was a mutant? But I took care of them. I see. As, of course, now at the girl that he saved, she decides, or because she's at her house, she can't stop thinking about him. How he's always so nice and polite. And the next day, he sends him out again to grab more quirks. But pick out the most strongest quirks. As he says, okay. Or actually, because he did this for 2 years. And, yeah. He ends up going on vacation. He ends up putting the swim trunks on. Or actually, he wasn't. To look for some sea quirks that can pique his interest. Because he can make his own quirks with if a touch of sand and yeah, he can make, basically, you know how in One Piece that the Zuko, or no, crocodile has that power to control sand. Yeah. So he ends up doing that. As he did not know there was going to be a special girl. as he walks around, yeah, so he ends up putting his hand on the sand thing as he absorbs the sand, and as his red hand got stepped on, how, as, yeah, when he looked up, he sees her as she says, "I'm so sorry. I did not see you down there. Are you okay?" "Yeah. Okay. You just stepped on my hand, no big deal." As then she realized it was the same one that saved her. As she walks up to him and, like, curiosity, as she tells him that, "Why are you here?" "I'm grabbing fresh quirks from, actually, my family." As he was a good liar too, but he he wanted to, of course he says, "I wanted to play some with the sand and go swimming." Okay, my clothes are waterproof, so yeah. Okay, and yeah, so he ends up went in because he has a quirk that allows him to basically absorb. It's basically like a fish. So yeah, as he could see through the water, clear as day. As he puts his hand right on the crab. Yeah, he puts his hand on the crab's head as he, like, used it as he creates a new quirk. And his heart starts beating when he thought about her too. Yeah. As he really, so he swims like a fish as he needs a quirk. So as a shark comes out of nowhere to try to attack him, but he ends up dodging and he ends up taking the quirk away. Yeah, or creating a new quirk. Now got sure. Yeah, so he basically, it doesn't harm the creatures or humans when he does that. And yeah, he grabs turtles and yeah, as he found a electric eel. No. As he reaches in and grabs the electric eel, as he absorbs the, or he can take it. So yeah. it doesn't affect his body at all. So, yeah. As he had a chunk of meat thing, and he says, here you go. As he yeah. So he comes out of the water as she was mostly worried about him. She saw a shark in the water, so she thought he was gonna die. But he says, nope, I'm not dead yet. And yeah. So yeah, he used plywood, steel from the under a boat. And yeah. So then he looks around because he's a Nomu. He also has the quirk that allows him to breathe underwater. So yeah, so he can breathe underwater as long as he so he battles against he found a squid that's poisonous, very poisonous, as he says, ooh, as he grabs the stupid thing. Yeah. As he's, instead of really hard, it was like soft, that he's not even poisoned. It's like he's absorbing, and he's like, alright, that feels like enough water. It was 2 more years. They thought he drowned, or some people, he probably has a underwater quirk that allows him to breathe underwater for a very long time. Yeah. So then the day came after he got out and dried himself off. As he was about to head back to the quirk doctor's office. To cash it in, should I say. Yeah. But he got stopped by none other than her. She ends up tells him how she feels about him. As every time, of course, she says, every time I see you, my heart pounding on my chest. And of course, as he's trying not to look at her in the eyes, because he's too embarrassed of how she feels about him. And she could sense he likes her too. So, as of course, she tells him that how about go over to my place? Yes. Okay. After I do something for one of my, I do these things like the water. I had to report it into one of my works things. As she understands, it's like, so you're, yeah. So he goes back and to the court doctor. Okay. He deposits it as he tells him, good job. Now, feel free to do whatever you want. Because you're the perfect Nomu. So, okay. I'm actually gonna head out. Remember that girl that I told you about that I saved the other day? Yes. Or the couple weeks ago? Or a couple of years ago? Yeah. She invited me into her house. As the doctor is now interested. Ooh, someone's asked you out. You probably are going on a date. As he, if that's so, it would be quite embarrassing. As he understands, as he says this, no need to be all fancy pants, okay? On me. So he goes over. Let's say she had a house. It was a big house too. Like bigger than herself. So that she can fit into it. So yeah. Without having her head and get constantly scraped on the top of it. So he came over as she was like coming in as she and him sat on the couch. They both wanted to like say what they want to say. Because they know that they're in love. Or they're like technically is in love. Of course, he actually of course she plays like truth or dare. Or actually her favorite game is the hard to get. So he's doing that. As he ends up, this is what he ends up with. Okay, how about, where do you work for? It's called the quirk makers. Or I create quirks that allows people to give to quirkless people. That sounds interesting. Yeah. Man, I am also, what if you, or do you believe me if I told you who I, or what I am? Go ahead. You know, of course he says this, my name is spelt backwards, right? It's Nomu. That's my type. As she heard of Nomus, or she never heard of Nomus, are all of the Nomus work for you, or like you're the Nomu. Are you created? Yep, I was created. Think about it as Frankenstein's monster. How the Frankenstein creates his own monster to be like instructable kind, as he or as she says, yeah. So you're basically, yeah, yeah. But since after as he breathes it in, he as she knows what he's gonna say. As she walks up to him, or like gets up, oh, actually slides right to him and gives him a hug, because he never had a real family, because he's a Nomu, of course. He doesn't understand any emotions or raising a family. That's, yeah. So she actually wants to, because he knows that he plays like hard to get thing. That's why she, yeah. So she says that you and I are, we don't understand anything. That's why we're perfect together. As she tells her backstory of why people think that she's a mutant and no one willing to come and help her. And she doesn't understand why people are always rude to her. As, yeah. And he doesn't understand what family and friends, because he was been created for a purpose to end up um being a to take quirks, or to copy quirks and takes the copied ones away. Yeah. As he tells her that eh, eh, that's only design that he know, that I take quirks, copying them. Sorry about that. Yeah. So she understands that. So she decides to ask him to go on a date. Yeah. She goes on the date with him. Like he doesn't know what to do. So he asks of course, after he left her house, to go, yeah, like, let's say next day, as he doesn't have a phone, so he ends up asking the doctor before, like, guess you were right. As the doctor says, on what? Well, she's asked me to go on a date. As he says, I'm very proud of you. I know that you've been cooped up in in his laboratories, but actually having you like having someone else in your life other than me and All for One. Actually, he forgot to put an obedience chip in him, but he knows that he's yeah. So yeah. So he gets his Nomu, or actually All for One and the doctor got him dressed like suit and tie. Plus, he doesn't know what her favorite foods are or restaurant things, and so yeah, he's never been on a date before. So he ends up, of course, going out with her at some fancy restaurant, and they ate, they start talking, and then when they were walking back to her house, a bunch of people were making fun of her. But but they realized, oh crud. They're saying in their heads, oh crud, that Mono, oh, or that Nomu she's dating him. Oh crap. Oh boy. As he knows, or they know that he doesn't mess around. So yeah, of course, they threw like bottles of like in cans at her, but he caught every single thing, as he says that I'm not gonna allow these jerks to ruin our date. As he owns takes care of them. Basically, and All for One knows that the jerks were picking on his date. So he asked Kirigiri to send the more Nomus, like 3 Nomus. And yeah, they got torn apart. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it off. Please wait for part 2 and have a good night or day. Depends on the time zone. Bye.